Night, and I think Kayvon, the VP of product over at Twitter, he happened to hop in the same group we did, and he even said he doesn't know how he's thinking about that. This is so experimental right now. We don't know how it's going to look in a post-pandemic world. We know podcasting has grown very nicely pre-pandemic, and it's doing great now during the pandemic. What I liked about Twitter's version of this is how organic it feels. They already have this massive network, and for example, last night, I saw at the top of my feed, oh, Andrew's there. He's having a chat in Twitter Spaces. I'm going to pop in. And next thing I know, hundreds of people are talking with us, and we're having a really deep, intelligent conversation about this product, about where it's going. And then there was that great moment, an unfiltered moment from you where we heard you munching on cereal. So I thought that was fun, too.
That I didn't realize the mic was on. So you got a hot mic with these phones all the time. I was munching on these oatmeal squares very loudly, too, because it's sort of hard to eat the oatmeal squares particularly quietly.
We heard you clanking around the kitchen, too. It was really fun.
My son was running around. Julia, when you think about this, we've seen situations before, and I'm thinking of Snap, actually, that had great success, and then we saw the copycats come, right? We saw Facebook come with Insta. We've seen others try to do similar things, and now similar things happening to Clubhouse. Who wins in the end?
Well, I think what's interesting here, Andrew, is that this may just be an entirely new category. There may be many winners here. And I think one reason this is sort of the social audio space is considered the next frontier is because even if you go back out and about in your life, you're going to be able to listen to these conversations when you're commuting. People are going to go back to work when you're walking around. And now that we have these lightweight wireless earbuds, these headphones, it's going to be easier to do this while you're doing other things. I listened to a great conversation on Clubhouse about Robinhood trading on Saturday evening when I was making dinner. So I think there's this idea that people are just going to be listening to a lot more audio, and maybe this will replace some of the time people spend listening to podcasts before. So I think there just might be a lot of space here, and I think there will be copycats. Twitter, Facebook, all going into this space. You have Mark Cuban backing a new startup in this space that's a little bit more sort of celebrity-led, a little bit more like Cameo meets Clubhouse. So I think we're going to see a lot of action in here, and a lot of who succeeds is going to depend on which speakers are on which platforms.
Okay, so Julia, if you are Spotify right this second, are you thinking I need to call up Paul Davidson, who runs Clubhouse, the co-founder, and I need to buy this thing immediately, and I will overpay big time? And is Apple, with Apple Music or Amazon, I mean, how does this work out?
I think that Clubhouse is not ready to sell yet. And I would say that because they just raised a bunch more money. They now have raised over $100 million. And Mark Andreessen and Andreessen Horowitz is backing this company. And Andreessen Horowitz is such a force. They're trying to build out their own media arm. So we'll likely see them take more conversations that have those Andreessen Horowitz partners on, leading them on Clubhouse and be using them, say, as podcasts. So I think that Andreessen Horowitz is not going to let go of this just yet. We're going to have to see how big it gets. Remember, there's still limited invitations. This is really early days for Clubhouse. So I think that with that in mind, we're more likely to see the Spotifys and Apples of the world start exploring this technology themselves and thinking of it more like a live podcast situation. And if you do that with limited access about who could participate, it would be easier to start that off than if you're just opening the floodgates and having a full conversation with hundreds of people.
Steve, though, who's poised to make money out of this? Because at some point you're going to have this sort of influencers group. You might have news organizations that are trying to effectively convene people and have these kind of conversations, and they're going to want a piece. They're going to want a piece. They're not just going to do it for free.
Exactly, and that's the way they're already thinking about it. Clubhouse has already said we're going to have more like that Patreon model where, hey, there's someone on Clubhouse or someone in Twitter Spaces I really like to listen to. Maybe I'll pay them a virtual tip or a small subscription fee every month. That's been a really good business for sites like Patreon and OnlyFans. Cameo is about to raise, I just saw a headline cross before we came on, they're about to have $1 billion valuation too. It's a similar model. It's celebrity focused, of course, but it's people paying the creators directly with the platform taking a cut. And that seems to be the way they want to go as opposed to finding a way to stuff ads in here.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.